It's the guts and it's the glory. 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the Pledge of Allegiance on the 4th of July. It's them handwritten letters from home. It's them sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's a line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Hey. From the fields of Indiana to the swamps of Louisiana, to the golden coast of California, Uncle Sam's the only family he's got. His purple heartbeat won't stop, and his 18th birthday was the day he was born. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's the light. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes.
Well, good evening, race fans, and welcome to Ultimate Dirt TV and the Coast to Coast Racing Network. It is Thursday night, the Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder. Tonight, the first of two races here in Pevely, Missouri at the Federated Auto Parts I-55 Raceway. Your small block modifieds are up next as we are ready to go racing here in what will be the first of 3 heat races, I do believe it is. Just waiting for the session to roll over. And then, of course, we will get into, yes, the first of 3 heat races on the program. Again, we bring you live pictures as we are ready to go. Heat race number 1. We will take a look at your starting grid and starting on the pole position. It will be Daniel Blau to the outside of the front row. The 97 of Butch Baker from position number 2. Rolling off out of position number 3, it'll be Bob DeGood in car number 7 to the outside from position number 4. Driving the 11 machine, that is Kelly Wheeler. Your third row to the inside, driving car number 88, it's Dan McLaren to the outside. The 25 entry of Gary Sigelco. And your fourth and final row on the inside, driving car number 32, Anthony Morano to the outside from position number 8. Piloting car number 5, that is John Krupa. John Krupa in the number 5 machine, going to bring up the rear as we are ready. Heat race number 1. Your Coast to Coast Racing Network Thursday Night Thunder. Thanks to Gambler Motorsports. Heat 1, we are underway. Bob DeGood immediately straight up there on the inside, looking for the race lead. Now Bob DeGood will in fact have the lead from Baker. Then you go back to Dan McLaren to the inside, getting a little tight. May have caught the inside wall. Lap 1 is in the books. 8-lap heat races. The 97 of Baker gets a run now on the 97 of Bob DeGood. Here comes Morano to the inside on McLaren as they work side by side down the front straightaway. Kelly Wheeler in the 11 machine, working back to position number 5. Morano has made his way up to that third position. DeGood still your race leader from Butch Baker in second. Morano now to the top shelf into turn number 1 and 2. McLaren works the inside. McLaren's got third as they work down into turn 3. McLaren may have caught the inside ball again, but here comes Morano to the outside looking for 2 for the price of 1. He's got the top side working a treat. Morano to the outside on Baker. Will have second down into turn 3, but Baker fighting back on the inside. 3 to run. Morano has second. Trying to run down your race leader, driving the Napa Auto Parts Factory Kane. Number 7 machine of Bob DeGood. Morano's good, especially on the exit of corner number 4. Bottom 1 and 2, top 3 and 4 looks like might be the place to be for some of these drivers. But I'll tell you what, Morano, he's not going to give up without a fight. But I'll tell you what, the fight is very little left to happen right now because white flag is out. 1 to go for your leader, Bob DeGood, down the back straight away. Morano, here he comes, looking to the outside. He may not have enough. Check and flag is out. Morano, DeGood, contact at the line. DeGood will hold on to a win in heat race number 1. Second will go to Morano. Third at the line. We bring up your results. Bob DeGood, Anthony Morano, 0.067 of a second was the difference between those two. Baker, McLaren, Wheeler, Krupa, Blau and Sigelco. That is your drivers in heat race number 1, the Coast to Coast Racing League. And the Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder. Heat number 2 will line up like this. Driving your Super Dirt Car Series Car 9 of Brian Lawson from position number 1 to the outside of the front row. Driving the 218, that's Kurt Schatzer from position number 2. Position number 3, Joseph Muscle in car 63 to the outside, the 79 car for Super Dirt Car Series and Full Throttle Motorsports. That is Dean Reynolds. Bar starting position number 5, that's Michael Vecchio in the 007 machine. Cody Graham from position number 6. And starting from position number 7 will be the 118 entry of Logan Wentz, and to the outside, the 35 of Connor Ross. We get ready. Safety car is in. Safety car is in. We are green flag. Heat number 2. And it will be Lawson. Oh, moving up the lane there in front of Kurt Schatzer. Keep an eye on Reynolds in the 79 machine. 3 wide momentarily down the front straightaway. Schatzer, Reynolds. There was contact. right at the flag stand is now Schatzer trying to come after Brian Lawson. Reynolds coming back after Mosso in the 63 machine. 2x2 for 3, 4, 5 and 6 positions. Reynolds is clear into position number 3 now to the inside on Schatz as they work through the first and second turn. Lawson still your race leader, but this battle on for the minor placings. Here comes Reynolds to the inside. Schatzer, too good on the outside, trying to get the momentum there as he works it up to the top side once again. Keep an eye on Connor Ross in that 4th position, in that 35. He had to come from that 4th row. Meanwhile, Reynolds giving a little push there to the 218 machine of Kurt Schatzer. We are halfway home in heat race number 2. The action thick and fast here from the Federated Auto Parts I-55 Raceway. Ross was trying the inside into turn number 3 and 4. Then you go back to Cody Graham in the 2. Logan Wentz, Joseph Mosso in the 63 and the 118. And they battle it out for 6th and 7th position. 2 to run for the 9 machine of Brian Lawson. He has led since the drop of the green flag. Will he continue to lead? Well, as he comes out of turn 4 this time, he's only got one more lap left to hold on to a heat race victory and start on the outside of the front row of your 30-lap main event later on tonight. Problems for Vecchio. Into 3 and 4, final time. It's going to be Lawson fending off the challenge from Schatzer. Reynolds comes home in 2nd. We'll take a look at your results here. There it is. Lawson, Schatzer, Reynolds, your top 3. Graham, Mosso, Wentz, Ross and Vecchio, the drivers that come home in the other standings. Heat number 3 lining up like this. On the pole, it'll be Jason Butterfield, car number 93 to the outside. Brandon Templeton, car 31, position number 2. Position number 3 will be Colby Cassinger in the 714 to the outside. Alex Pomelo driving the 397 from position number 4. Position number 5 will be the 518 of Joseph Grandy. The Scooby-Doo 72 of Zach Chapman from position number 6. And having the back row all to himself, driving your 513 entry, that is Jeffrey Barker. Heat 3. What's up, dude? Ready for action. Heat 1 brought to you by Flatline Racing Bodies. Heat 2 brought to you by Langton Mechanical. Heat 3 brought to you by Top Notch Trucking. We go racing off turn number 4, the Federated Auto Parts I-55 Raceway. Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder Small Block Modifieds presented by Coast to Coast Racing League. Live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network and on Ultimate Dirt TV. Brandon Templeton will lead the opening lap. Jason Butterfield now moves to the top side of the racetrack. Meanwhile, Cassinger will fight to the inside on the 397 entry of Alex Pomelo. Zach Chapman as well. Chapman trying to get a good run on the outside. Little contact done. Well, Chapman now goes to the middle. He goes 3 wide. Jeffrey Barker at the back of the field is Joseph Grandy trying to find his way forward. Meanwhile, Templeton, your race leader. Oh no, there goes Barker and Granny. Templeton still your race leader. Maybe putts. 4 laps left to run here in what will be your final heat race of the night. If we have the consolation race, 5th on pack will start in the consolation race. Otherwise, top 4 go through to the main event. Well, everyone looking to make the show here in tonight's feature event. 2.5 to go for your leader of Brandon Templeton from Jason Butterfield in 2nd position. Colby Cassinger in 3rd. Now here comes Chapman to the inside. Moves Zach Chapman up to the 3rd spot on the racetrack. Cassinger still working to the inside. Then you got Alex Pomelo, but the white flag is out. 1 lap left to run here in the final heat race of the night. Into turns 3 and 4. Brandon Templeton will come off turn 4 down the front straight away. He will claim victory here in heat race number 3. Here is your official results. Brandon Templeton with the win. Jason Butterfield, Zach Chapman, your top 3. Cassinger, Pomelo, Grandy and Barker. And it looks like we are not going to have a consolation race. It is going to be straight into a warm-up session. So we'll take a quick break here on Ultimate Dirt TV and on the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
For Lucy Olsen, she has her first point. Yeah, Lucy Olsen, talented sophomore.
And we are back here on Ultimate Dirt TV coverage of your Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder, live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, live on Ultimate Dirt TV. Small block modified here at the Federated Auto Parts I-55 Raceway. We will go through your starting lineup. On row one, it'll be Bob DeGood starting from position number 1 to the outside. Brian Lawson from position number 2. From position number 3, the 31, Brendan Templeton. From position number 4, the 32, with Anthony Morano. Position number 5, Kurt Shatton, the 218. Position number 6, Jason Butterfield. Position number 7, the 97 of Butch Baker. Position number 8, Dean Reynolds. Position number 9, the 72 of Zach Chapman. Position number 10, the 88 of Dan McLaren. Position number 11, the 2 of Cody Graham. Position number 12, the 14 of Colby Kassinger. Position number 13, the 11 of Kelly Wheeler. Position number 14, the 63 of Joseph Mosso. Position number 15, the 397, Alex Pomelo. Position number 16, the 5 of John Krupa. Position number 17, the 118 of Logan Wentz. Position number 18, the 518 of Joseph Grandy. Position number 19, the 17, Daniel Blau. The 35 of Connor Ross from position number 20. Position number 21, the 513, Jeffrey Barger. Gary Sigelcone, the 25 from position number 22. And the 007 of Michael Vecchio from position number 23. Safety car will go around. Waiting for a start. Your 30-lap main event. Live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network and live on Ultimate Dirt TV. Gambler Motorsports. Thursday Night Thunder, small block modifieds, Federated Auto Parts, I-55 Raceway. 30 green flag laps. Let's get 30 for 30 here in the main event. It'll be DeGood leading down the back straight away and will lead lap number 1. Lawson, Templeton, side by side. We are yellow, the 518 of Joseph Grady. So first yellow of the evening. Let's see if that's going to bring it up as to what happened. I think this is it here, but looks like we are going back green. So with that being said, we will leave that one alone for the moment. We get ready to go back racing. Bob DeGood in the 7 car. We'll have control of the field. 29 to run. Again, keep an eye on Templeton and Lawson as they look to resume that battle for the runner-up position. Morano to the outside on Chatter. They work down through 3 and 4. DeGood, Templeton, Lawson. That's your top 3 as they complete what is lap number 3. Chatter to the inside, work on the bottom side through 3 and 4. Here comes Morano. We've seen Morano, hell of a heat race out in the opening heat of the night. Well, he was able to pass a number of cars. This racetrack hopefully going to start to slicken off just a little bit. We continue to now. We're going to watch the battle on for the race lead. DeGood slides up in front of Templeton. Templeton turns it back underneath him. Now look out. Here comes Brian Lawson to the inside into turns 3 and 4. You're 3 wide for the race lead momentarily, but just as they get to the start-finish line, we go yellow. The 5 of John Cooper involved in that one. I wonder if this is going to allow me to Just show it. Let's have a look. Okay. Let's go back just a little bit, shall we? So just like that, we come back live. Certainly going to be an interesting restart. That's all, dude. Waiting for your lights and the safety car to turn off. Safety car lights are off. Lights are off around the venue. Main event. Who will find their way into Extreme eSpeed TV Victory Lane? Well, you'll have to wait another 24 laps, but tell you what, let's get those 24 laps into the books here. We are back underway. Yeah, Gambler Motorsports, Thursday Night Thunder, small block modifieds here at the Federated Auto Parts I-55 Raceway. Brandon Templeton now going to sweep around the outside. Keep an eye on Murata. We are back yellow. And short track racing coming out at its finest. Jeffrey Barker in the 513. Let's have a look, see what happened. Let's go the old rewind. Well, Barker gets into the back of the 17 car. And putting them around. Daniel Blau was the 17 car. Platty? Yes. I'm not too sure. I'll find out. I will ask the question. I will ask the question later. We're ready to fire them off once again. Green flag is out. Bob the Good. Car 7. Keep an eye on Templeton. Not afraid to rip the lip around the outside now. We're back underway. Templeton had to check up just a little bit to stop from getting into the back of the 7 entry. Oh, Bob the Good. Now Lawson trying the inside. Here comes Morano. We are, what is 8? Make it 8 down. 22 to run. Morano, Reynolds working the outside. Lawson slides up. Morano to the inside. 3 wide off turn number 4. Challenges up for the race lead. 3-1 battle for 3rd, 4th and 5th. Where do you want to look? Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to look at the new race leader. Brendan Templeton down through 3 and 4. Sweeping around the outside. Templeton will lead lap number 10. And just as we go and get a new race leader, Brandon Templeton, we go yellow. Part of you, I'm pretty sure they're open. I'm pretty sure they are open. Again, just asking the question. No, actually just been told they're fixed. Well, there you go. See, you learn something new every day. Can appreciate everyone watching live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network and live on Ultimate Dirt TV. Still another race after this. Thanks to Top Notch Trucking and Catalytic Recovery with the support of the Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder 3 wide as Morano to the outside onto good. Here comes Reynolds now. Reynolds looking to make his way into the podium position, but now the outside line looking way too good. Move Reynolds up to position number 3. Lawson going to follow Reynolds through 1 and 2. To good, still trying to make that bottom side work down through 3 and 4. The 93 of Jason Butterfield got Kurt Schatzer to the inside. Approaching the lap of the back marker, I believe that'll be John Krupa in the 5 machine. Coming to 16 to go. Templeton from Morano. And there's very little in between the pair as they work through 1 and 2, but we are yellow. Yellow on the racetrack. Okay, just getting that one sorted. That should be right. Lights are out. Isaac, where are you tonight? Why are you not racing, by the way? Going back green. Templeton, the race leader, has lane choice. Morano, oh boy, what happened to Dean Reynolds there on that start? He slipped back to position number 5. Now Lawson takes over the runner-up spot from Morano down into 1. Oh, back yellow. Well, Dean Reynolds, he was in 3rd, coming to the green there on that last restart, but unfortunately now finds himself in position number 4. Was back in 5th position as well, so not sure what happened to him. Well, we'll keep an eye on that 79. How about Morano? He looked good in the opening heat of the night. Again, he was the first driver to make it work on the top side of the racetrack. Lights are out. Templeton, the race leader, has lane choice. So the 31 car. That's the black, white and green 31. Up against Morano in the blue, purple and black number 32. Comeback racing, green flag is out. And now Reynolds now going to sweep around the outside, so a good restart there. That time for Dean Reynolds. He's now moving up to that 2nd spot, and now going to try and challenge up for the race lead. Meanwhile, the 97 of Butch Baker working to the outside of the racetrack on Morano. 3 out of the top 4 cars will work on the top side. The 93 Jason Butterfield stopped on the inside of the raceway. Don't forget, we still have small blocks versus big block modifieds to come. after this one. Get a huge thank you to, of course, Coast to Coast Racing Network and the Coast to Coast Racing League for allowing us here at Ultimate Dirt TV to showcase the Thursday Night Thunder Series. Again, if you're looking to race with the Coast to Coast Racing League, just go to www.c2crl.com. Depending on whether the lights go out on the pace truck or not, or whether we go around one more time. They do go out, so I'll come back to that in just a moment. Come back green, Templeton. Reynolds on the inside, down into 1 and 2. Can he make it work? Baker now looking to make a run on the outside. And just like what Reynolds done on the previous restart, Baker's going to do it. Go from 4th to 2nd. And move Butch Baker to position number 2. Reynolds going to get up to the top side. 3 wide. Shatter through the middle. Morano on the inside. Lawson, who was good at the start of this feature event, now finds himself outside the top 5. Morano Schatz are still working wheel to wheel and door panel to door panel. Door panel to door panels. They work down the back straightaway. Lawson got the best seat in the house to watch these two drivers battle it out for 4th and 5th position. Meanwhile, Butch Baker closing in now on Brandon Templeton. We're coming to 7 to go. Baker, where can he find that extra speed to get by the 31 of Templeton? Well, he's certainly going to have to go to the bottom side. He needs to throw a slider, and it needs to be very soon because we've got 6 laps left to run. Templeton, Baker. Baker, I thought, was going to turn down the racetrack. Not quite there just yet to throw the move. I'll tell you what, it's going to be tough to throw the slider. As long as Templeton does not make the mistake, he should go to victory lane. He's going to have Bob the Good, the lap car, just in front of him here in a moment's time. But they shouldn't really need to worry about passing him. The Good had some speed earlier on in the night. Shatter dies down to the inside. Meanwhile, here comes Dean Reynolds up to position number 3 and closing in on the top 2 as they work with 3 laps left to run. 3 to go for Templeton, Baker and Reynolds. Make it 2. The popsicle sticks around, and with 4/10 of a second lead, I don't think Brandon Templeton is going to be touched. Well, that could change. Albeit, should be a single file restart. Inside 10 to go. And Templeton with what will be a green-white checker situation. Brandon Templeton trying to calm the nerves just a little bit. And the 97 of Baker, well, he'll have one more opportunity. But it needs to happen very quickly. If he doesn't get the restart, you can pretty much write the check and you can almost put Brandon Templeton coming to Extreme E-Speed TV victory lane. Lights are out. Single file restarts. Safety car is in. 2 to go for Brandon Templeton. And he got a good start. Baker. He needs to do something a little different. Meanwhile, trying something different was Dean Reynolds in the 79. Went to the bottom into 1 and 2. Coming to the white flag. 1 lap left to run for the 31 of Brandon Templeton. Templeton good through the first 2 left-hand turns. He's only got 2 left to make as he works down the back straightaway for the final time into 3 and 4. Coming to Extreme E-Speed TV victory lane. Your top-notch trucking main event winner will go to Brandon Templeton. Butch Baker going to come home in position number 2. We take a look at your feature results. Templeton will get the win from Baker, home in second. Reynolds third. Schatzer in fourth. Morano will come home and round out the top 5. Cody Graham 6th. Connor Ross 7th. Brian Lawson in 8th. Joseph Grady 9th. Alex Pomelo rounds out your top 10. We go over the page. Kelly Wheeler in 11th. 12th is Jeffrey Barker. 13th, Zach Chapman. Joseph Bosso 14th. Gary Sigelco 15th. Daniel Blau in 16th. Jason Bonifield 17th. Bob DeGood 18th. Colby Casinger 19th. Dan McLaren rounds out the top 20. And the final 3 finishes. Logan Wentz in 21st. Michael Vetcher 22nd. And John Cooper in position number 23. We are ready. We'll chat to drivers that come home in first, second, and third. Of course, we wait for the drivers to do that. In fact, they are here, ready to go. They are out of the virtual cockpits of the race cars. Home in third place tonight, driving the 79 machine, the Super Dirt Car Series Full Throttle Motorsports entry. That is Dean Reynolds. Dean, congratulations here on a third place finish. And, well, that was a tough race. You were up the front, you fell back almost outside the top 5, but then you came back and found your way up into third spot.
Yeah, Brett, that was a race of restarts. You had to be on the outside. For some reason, the bottom just never came in. I even tried the middle, and it didn't stick. And then, when I saw an opening on the top, I said, you know what, I'm just going to get back up here, cut bait, and hope for maybe a mistake. If not, we'll just fall in line. And, running for points, I'm third in points, so I'll take the third.
I think you were very quick towards the back end of that race. That top side was just too good. Unfortunately, the bottom side just wasn't there. It was there at the start of the night, but it just sort of fell away. Was that always the game plan late in this race to go to the top side?
No, I ran the matinee today. I actually worked from home and took my lunch and ran the matinee. And, the middle came in. The bottom and the middle were good, and I thought maybe it would happen here. But I think something with the humidity and the nighttime, the track just wore in different, and it just stayed top dominant. There was something to grab up top, which is unusual since it's new build. And you could actually run the car fairly hard up top. And I said, I just got to get back up there and just stay there and hope for the best.
Well, hope for the best. And, the best. You come home third spot here tonight. Good points tonight for you in the 79 car. Dean, before we let you go and have a moment to quickly celebrate this podium run before we get ready for the next race of the night. Sure, there's a lot of spots. There's a lot of great people that need to be thanked.
Well, I'm hoping first I break the Brett Wheeler jinx. That's going to be the first thing I want to do. So this is the second time I got to talk to you. But I got to thank the guys at Full Throttle Motorsports. They helped me a lot. It's a good part about being the team. And Gunnar Swanchera and Dylan Dewart and Bart Watson, they're helping when I do open setup races. They're helping me there. I got to thank the guys from Team Venom. Congratulations to Butchie Baker. He was in the same Discord as us or as me, and we gave Brandon all we could, and but Brandon didn't make a mistake. He earned it. So and just got to thank Coast to Coast for this really good league part of. And Brett, again, thanks for doing the telecast.
All right, there we go. Dean Reynolds, ladies and gentlemen, home in position number 3. We'll chat to the driver that comes home in second place tonight. It is going to be Butch Baker. Butch, congratulations on second place, and well, boy. You left everything on the table, and unfortunately, you're going to have to be a bridesmaid for tonight, but, man, a hell of a run in that 97 car.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I'll take it. I was thinking about trying something there at the green-white checker, but I was like, you know what? I don't get on podiums very much, and knowing my luck, I'll dive to the bottom, and they'll freight train me on the outside, and I'll lose my podium spot. I'm like, I'm going to stick right here.
Talk us through what was going through your mind inside those last 10 laps and just before that last yellow come out, because you were probably 4-5 tenths of a second, then you ran him down to a tenth or 2 tenths. You were right on his back bumper a couple of times. What was going through your mind? What was the game plan for you to try and get back by him?
You know what? It was just, I'm not usually able to run that close to Brandon. I'm not usually up towards the lead, and tonight it felt really good. And it felt like I finally really actually had something. And I was just waiting for, a few more laps. And I was going to try and make a move. And then the caution came out, and I'm like, yeah, no, everybody's bunched back up. I'm just going to stick right here. But, yeah, that felt really good. That was awesome.
Well, Butch, congratulations on this second place finish. Before we let you get out of here and celebrate, and before we hopefully see you in the next one, sponsors, shout out to who makes this possible for you in the 97 car.
Yeah, got to thank all the guys over at Venom Racing. We're a hell of a team. We've been coming on really strong, and we all stick together and support each other, and I love all those guys. And got to give a big shout out to Dean Reynolds and Super Dirt Car Series. He does a lot for us. My other sponsor, SD Audio, got to thank my buddy Brian Lawson with Magnum Race Design, and Coast to Coast Racing League, and all the guys behind the scenes, and you guys for doing the broadcast, and I appreciate every one of you.
All right, there we go. Butch Baker home in second spot tonight. He was the bridesmaid tonight, but the bride, there has to be one winner, and tonight that winner is the 31 car of Brandon Templeton. Brandon, congratulations on this victory. Boy, not without its challenges from Butch and the rest of the crew there late in that race, but man, you hold your nerve on a green-white checker. You got to be happy with this result once again.
Oh, absolutely. Just thrilled to be, have a chance to get another podium, let alone a win. And this, this many drivers, it's always tough, so I'll take it.
Man, that top side was pretty dominant from the get-go, even at the start of the night where Morano made it work in Heat 1. As the track sort of wore off, was it something a little different tonight that just held the moisture where the bottom side wasn't able to work as well as the top side?
Yeah, I don't know if, maybe it'll be a little different with the big blocks with a little more power and a little fresher track. But, for the most part, you just had to keep the momentum. And it was so slick in the middle that, that meant high side tonight. So that's where we kept it.
Mate, those last 10 laps, Butch Baker was really putting the pressure there in those final 10 laps. Were you worried at all? Were you thinking that the slider was going to come but never came?
Oh, yeah, I run a mirror, but I run it, way up high, so it's not really in my field of vision too much. And I kept seeing that nose, even out of the corner of my eye, peeking up on my bumper. So I knew he was all over me. Just problem was, it was a pretty one-lane track, so I knew he was going to have to go somewhere else to make it happen. So I just tried to hit my marks.
All right, yellow comes out with 2 to run. What was going through your mind there on that final green-white checker?
Don't mess up. My teammate Kurt Schatzer told me that there were some guys making moves on the bottom deeper in the field, so I was a little bit nervous, but top side got me that far, so I stuck with it.
Well, congratulations, Brandon, on the win here tonight in the small blocks, the 358 modifieds here at I-55 Raceway. Again, before we let you get out of here, celebrate and get ready for the next race, sponsors, shout out to who makes this possible for you in the 31 car.
Yeah, Brett, thanks to you for, doing this and putting on these broadcasts. A really cool deal. We can watch them back and family can watch them. That's cool. So thanks to you. Thanks to Jay with Dirt Track Bank, everything he's done for sim racing and, helping us out with Jay with the Got Your Six Racing Network and everything there with Joe is cool for Mission 22. So I'd like to support them. DirtTrackBank.com. Extreme Images, Maley's Makery, Hammer Down Racing Team, Joe, Kurt, and Brian. Big C's Lawn Care, everyone doing the league and everyone watching at home. Thanks. All
right, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Brandon Templeton, your winner for the first of 2 races here for the dirt side of things. Again, Brandon Templeton picking up the win here in the first race, the small block modified 358s here at the Federated Auto Parts I-55 Raceway. Thanks to Top Notch Trucking. Of course, we'll have the Cadillac Recovery small block versus big block modifieds up here in just a few moments' time. But just quickly, just to recap your top 3, ladies and gentlemen. Getting the win was that car on screen, the 31 car of Brandon Templeton. Home in second spot was the 97 of Butch Baker, and Dean Reynolds will route out the podium. We'll take a quick break here on Ultimate Dirt TV and on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Stick around, we'll have more racing live to come from the Federated Auto Parts I-55 Raceway. Back in just a moment, in a few moments' time.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
The reverse for Lucy Olsen. She has her first point. Yeah, Lucy Olsen, talented sophomore.
And we are back here, ladies and gentlemen, live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network and live on Ultimate Dirt TV. Thursday Night Thunder. And Gambler Motorsports bringing you what is now the Big Block Modifieds here from the Federated Auto Parts I-55 Raceway. Again, Coast to Coast Racing League, if you're looking for other races that enjoy racing without all the drama and the name calling of normal iRacing, come out and join the Coast to Coast Racing League. We have 22 divisions racing 6 days a week and currently broadcast 11 divisions. Members know that they are a part of something bigger than just the on-track experience. Go to www.c2crl.com, click on the apply, and join in on the action. The cars are virtual, but the racing is real. Of course, live on all the Coast to Coast Racing, all the Coast to Coast Racing League races will be live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Again, those 11 divisions. So make sure you join us for Sunday Night Showdown, 9 p.m. Eastern. Travis Piercefield and Extreme Esports TV cover the Dirt Pro late models. Monday Night Madness, 8 o'clock to 10 p.m. Eastern with Marty from Slide Job Racing Network. And bring you all the action of the Rebels and Renegades. Joe White brings you the Asphalt Tuesday action featuring NASCAR Truck Series. And Thursday night, the Hometown Heroes, live with OSRN. Joe White yet again for the Ohio Challenge from Eldora and Limaland Speedways. And followed by the NASCAR Xfinity divisions. Thursday nights, of course, Thursday Night Thunder live with myself, Brett Wheeler, and Ultimate Dirt TV. Bringing you the small block and big block modified, followed by Extreme Speed TV covering the NASCAR Next Gen Cup Series. We'll have that one after this one. That's that, dude. Welcome back. But for now, we are not too far away. We're not too far away from getting what will be the first heat race of your big block modified series for round number 3. Get a huge thank you to, of course, the Steve King Foundation and what they do. Again, the Steve King Foundation was formed to help dirt track racing community across the country by providing financial assistance to drivers, pit crew members, racing officials, track operations personnel, or the immediate families of those individuals who suffer serious illness, injury, or death. All right, here we go. We are ready to go racing heat race number 1. Let's take a look at your starting lineup. And well, starting on the pole, it'll be the 35 of Connor Ross. To the outside of the front row, Randall Dixon. Why is Trading Paints not doing this? Okay. Apologies, but apparently Trading Paints also needs an update as well. And I knew that was going to come there. All right, row number 2 to the inside. From position number 3, it's Dean Reynolds, Alex Pomelo from position number 4. Position number 5 with the 88 of Dan McLaren, Jeffrey Kemper from position number 6. Position number 7, oh, let's take that off so we can get that done. Anthony Morano and Joseph Mossa will start 7th and 8th. And that will be heat race number 1. Ready for a start. Ah, so that didn't come up. Oh, that's nice. Green flag is out. We're underway. Big block modifieds here at the Federated Auto Parts I-55 Raceway. It's going to be Connor Ross leading the way from Randall Dixon. Alex Pomelo fighting to get up to position number 3 from Dean Reynolds. Reynolds in 3rd position, but I'll tell you what, keep an eye on Randall Dixon. Look at Dan McLaren, the 88, trying to sweep around the outside. Challenger starting to come for the race lead. Here comes Dixon, closing in on the 35 car. Connor Ross still the race leader. Ross continuing to lead the way from Dixon with 5 to go. Reynolds now to the inside, but a contact at the midway point of the back straightaway. Reynolds now finds himself looking out of the top 3. Pomelo to the outside, the 397 of Alex Pomelo. Reynolds fighting back on the inside, down into turns 3. Bottom 1 and 2, top 3 and 4. We've seen it early on with the small block modified heat races. Pomelo and Reynolds going to continue to work it side by side. Jeffrey Kemper now going to bring it into a 4-car battle for the runner-up position with 2 to run. Connor Ross out by 0.8 of a second. Make it, yeah, look at that gap opening up to almost a 1 second advantage from Randall Dixon. White flag is out. Problems for Joseph Mosso in the 63. 1 to go for your race leader. Connor Ross down the back straightaway. Final time. Into turn number 3 and 4. Checkered flag is out. We are done and dusted. Heat race number 1. Ross will get the win from Dixon. Take a look at your results coming up on screen. Ross will get the win from Dixon. Reynolds home in 3rd. Pomelo 4th. McLaren 5th. Kemper, Mosso and Morano. Heat number 2. Let's just brighten this place up just a little bit. And there we go. Heat number 2. And it works to you like this. On the pole position, driving car number 18, the 118, it'll be Logan Wentz. Butch Bacon, the 97 from position number 2. I can't even count. I don't know why it's not picking it up there. The 007, Michael Vecchio, will start position number 3. Joseph Grandy from position number 4. Position number 5, Brian Lawson. Position number 6, Jason Butterfield. Cody Graham from 7, Daniel Blau from 8. I don't know why it's not picking it up now. I even restarted the program. Anyhow, I'll go with it. We will go with it. Heat number 2, your Catalytic Recovery. Big Block Modifieds and Gambler Motorsports. Thursday Night Thunder. Green flag is out. Wentz, Baker fresh off a second place finish in the small blocks. Oh, gets into the side and got into the back of the 18 entry of Logan Wentz. Problems for Brian Lawson in the 9 machine. Jason Butterfield in the runner-up position. I wonder if there will be any post-race penalties for the 97 of Butch Baker. The 93 of Butterfield. Running in second position at the moment. Michael Vecchio third. Then you go back to Daniel Blau. Getting by Cody Graham through 3 and 4. 5 to run. And again now the battle is starting to heat up for that race lead. Butch Baker fresh off a second place finish. Jason Butterfield closing in down into 1 and 2. It's almost under 2/10 of a second. Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to be close. And with 3 to run, Baker's going to have his hands full right now with Jason Butterfield. They continue to put another lap into the books here at the Federated Auto Parts I-55 Raceway. Baker, Butterfield, Vecchio, that's your top 3. You're watching your top 2 on screen. The 97 of Baker from the 93 of Butterfield. White flag is out. 1 to go for your race leader. Here comes Butterfield to the inside. Butterfield, Baker down into 3 and 4. Final time. Checkered flag is out. Baker's going to hold on to a win. Second will go to Butterfield. Vecchio third. Blau fourth. Graham fifth. Logan Wentz comes home in 6th position. Followed by Lawson and Grandy will come home in the 7th and 8th position. Here is heat race number 2 victory. Going the way of Butch Baker after 8 laps. Baker, Butterfield, Vecchio, Blau, Graham, your top 5. Wentz, Lawson and Grandy. The drivers that come home in 6th, 7th and 8th. Heat race number 3 will line up like this. It'll be the 161 of Terry Landis from position number 1. Harold Klopp out of position number 2. Position number 3 with the 218 of Kurt Schatzer. Position number 4, Brandon Templeton in the 31. Position number 5 with the 72 of Zach Chapman. Bob DeGood from position number 6 in car number 7. Jeffrey Barker, the 513 from position number 7. John Cooper from position number 8. I wonder if that's going to work if I do that. Yeah, I'm just going to go through the grid. I don't know why it's picking up some cars and not some of the others. So I don't believe we are going to have a consolation race either. There is what is now 24 cars that have taken to the racetrack. Here we go. Green flag is out. Heat number 3 is upon us. Out of the 161 of Landis, followed by Harold Klump in the 125. Keep an eye on Templeton, your main event winner from the small block modifiers. Lap 1 belongs to Harold Klump on the outside. Landis still working the inside of the racetrack. Now here comes Brandon Templeton once again in car 31. Templeton going to move up to the runner-up position. He'll go to the top side into 1 and 2. Again, as he follows the 125 of Harold Club. Still Terry Landis still working the bottom part of the raceway. Landis continues to work low. Here comes Kurt Schatzer in the 218. Boy, I tell you what, Landis, he's not making life easy for the guys running the top side. He's still hanging with him. Looks good through 3 and 4, maybe top 1 and 2. But I'd say, as I say then, the bottom was just a little better there. Into 1 and 2 is Landis. Templeton with 3 to go for Harold Club. Templeton, Landis, and Schatzer still fighting out for the minor placings. Schatzer now going to get by the 161 of Terry Landis. Templeton makes a mistake, 3 wide. Schatzer went right through the middle of the raceway. Templeton gets it back going on the top side. Schatzer, Templeton, side by side for the 2nd and 3rd position with 1 lap left to run. Harold Clump in the 125 machine looking to put that 125 from the 3rd starting position down into 3 and 4. Final heat race of the night. And it will be Harold Clump 2nd at the line. Brandon Templeton by, no. Kurt Schatzer by 5/1000th of a second. Klump gets the win over Schatzer, and Templeton third. Again, 5/1000th of a second. Barker, Krupa, fourth and fifth. Landis, Chapman, and DeGood will be the drivers that come home. 5, 6, and 7. 6, 7, and 8. And we are in the warm-up session, so we'll take a quick break here on Ultimate Dirt TV and on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Your main event up next.
How about the reverse for Lucy Olsen? She has her first point. Yeah, Lucy Olsen, talented sophomore.
And we are back here live on Ultimate Dirt TV and on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Thursday Night Thunder and Gambler Motorsports present the Catalytic Recovery Big Block Modifieds. It's time to take a look at your starting grid for your main event. On the pole will be Connor Ross. To the outside from position number 2, it's Butch Baker. Second row inside, position number 3, Harold Clubb. To the outside, the 11 of Randall Dixon from position number 4. Position number 5, the 93, Jason Butterfield. Kurt Schatzer, the 218 from position number 6. Dean Reynolds, the 790 will start, or the 79 will start position number 7. And Michael Vecchio will start position number 8. Position number 9 will be the 31 of Brandon Templeton. Alex Pomelo will start from position number 10. 11th starter is going to be Daniel Blau. Jeffrey Barker in the 513 from position number 12. Position number 13 will be the 88 of Dan McLaren. Position number 14, Cody Graham in car number 2. Out of 15th will be the 5 of John Krupa. Position number 16, the 181 of Jeffrey Kemper. Position number 17, the 18 of Logan Wentz. Bob DeGood, the 7, lines up at a position number 18. Position number 19, the 63 of Joseph Mosso. Brian Lawson, the 9, will start 20. Position number 21, the 161, Terry Landis. Position number 22, Anthony Morano. Position number 23, the 518 of Joseph Grandy, and Zach Chapman will start from position number 24. Your main event about to get underway. Round 3, Gambler Motorsports, Thursday Night Thunder, Catalytic Recovery, A-Main, here at the Federated Auto Parts, R55 Raceway. Let's get dirty for 30. It'll be Ross and Baker leading the field down into turn number 1 and 2. Connor Ross has got the advantage. Harold Clubb in the 125 machine resides in the 3rd position. Well, just like that, we are yellow. So 1 lap into the feature event, and just like that, take a look at your NLRA instant replay. In fact, that's not it. That's not it either. Go back through this field to see if we can find out what happened. Now there it is. The car of Logan Wentz going upside down. So we'll go back live. But what can we say? Take number 2. 1 down, 29 to go. Ross now opting to start on the outside of the raceway. On the front row, leader has lane choice. Dixon fighting for the 4th and 5th position with Kurt Schatzer on the inside. Moose Schatzer up to position number 4. Still Ross is your race leader. Meanwhile, Butterfield coming through now on the inside of the 93 machine, looking to go into the top 5. Michael Vecchio in the 007 machine. Working, sliding up to the top of the racetrack. Reynolds into the wall. Templeton, here he comes in to position number 8. Your winner from the Top Notch Trucking Small Block Modified main event, Brandon Templeton. Meanwhile, Schatzer all over the inside of Harold Clubb. We still watch Templeton. Just in front of Templeton, Butterfield and Dixon. And in front of them as well, Clubb along with Schatzer. 25 to go here in the main event. Go back to drivers in what is now 5th, 6th, 7, 8, 9, 10. And it is a hornet's nest right now. Templeton to the inside. Templeton on Dixon. Dixon back around the outside. Here comes Vecchio. Reynolds trying to sweep around the outside. Trying to make it 3 wide on the top side. Reynolds making something work up on the top side. Trying to sell some T-shirts. Trying to put himself in good stead for tonight's main event, especially for the back half. Meanwhile, now Templeton slides up in front of Dixon. Dixon has to back out of it, and he'll let Templeton go on by. Meanwhile, here comes Schatzer. Schatzer's made his way to position number 3. He got by the 125 of Harold Clubb. He ran the bottom in 3 and 4. And just like that, a 7/10 of a second advantage. We see the 518 of Joseph Grandy around. So a 7/8 of a second advantage for Connor Ross. Now comes back to a double file restart. Oh, poor old Dean Reynolds. Dean, you can't park there. What happened to Dean? Uh-oh. Oh, got into... Dean? You know that wall doesn't move, right? And you can't park there. My God. When are you going to learn? Maybe one day you might listen to me. Well, the old Ultimate Dirt TV curse for Dean Reynolds continues. So he will look to bring that 79 pit side, hopefully get a quick repair. Again, appreciate all the support live on Ultimate Dirt TV, live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Don't forget, Coast to Coast Racing Network viewers, do not go anywhere after this main event. Marty and Sludge Up Racing Network, Extreme eSpeed TV will in fact have the coverage of your next gen cars. Not sure what track they're at, but we'll find out. Oh boy, look out! Baker going to get absolutely swallowed up, and so is Brandon Templeton. Well, yellow comes out. And a huge sigh of relief for the likes of, well, Brandon Templeton. Although he looks like he might be coming down to the pit side. Keep an eye on the 31 machine. Let's see what happens. Yeah, 31 of Templeton going infield. Again, getting that quick repair. The 97 of Baker. Well, he will have another opportunity to make it work. NASCAR Cup Series. Live after your Big Block Modified main event. Live here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Your Thursday Night Thunder Summer Series and Summer Season, week number 3. Again, a huge thanks to the Steve King Foundation with the safety car and what they do for the racing community. Safety car will come infield. The 35 of Connor Ross will start outside of the front row. We go back racing with what should be 20 laps to go. Make it 19. In fact, we'll make it 18 right now. Just as we start to get rolling here in the main event, another yellow comes out. See if we can figure this one out. Let's take a look at Cody Graham in the number 2 machine. Ooh. So it started with Cody Graham. Checked up. Got into the... No, he didn't get into all. There was contact with the 181. I believe that is Kemper and Jeffrey Barker. Either way, we are back under the yellow flag behind your Steve King safety car. Yeah, nah, Platts. Yeah, nah. Oh, where'd that go? Well, I don't know why that got turned off. Apologies. Apologies to, of course, all the sponsors that you see up on the top right. Of course, Flatline Racing Bodies, Top Notch Trucking, Catalytic Recovery, and Coast to Coast Racing Network. Safety car in, green flag is out. Narrow Club got an absolute Barry Crocker of a start. Oh, look at McLaren up on the top 3 wide. Vecchio, they have Will. Oh, they make all sorts of love. And there is a huge pile up down into turn number 3. El touchy, lovey, touchy, squeezy feel. Big block modifieds. And that's how, ladies and gentlemen, that's how you make a small block. So we're not too far away from getting this one underway. So it'll be Connor Ross in the 35 to lead us back to the green flag. Thank you. Thank you. I'm here for a little bit longer. I'm here for another 16 laps, and of course the post-race coverage, post-race interviews, and who will find Extreme eSpeed TV victory lane. Ross will come to the halfway stage of the main event. 15 down and 15 to go. Ross to the outside. Schatzer on the outside of the 125 of Harold Clump. Dan McLaren lurking in 4th position. One spot out of a podium, though McLaren now looks down to the inside. Give it to Harold Clump as they work down into 1, out of 2. Who's going to have it? McLaren's got it. McLaren has got 3rd, down into 3 and 4. Meanwhile, keep an eye on Kurt Schatzer in the 218 machine as he looks down to run down your race leader. Goes to the inside on Connor Ross through 1. Now we'll have to tuck in line behind your 35. Connor Ross still the race leader. Schatzer once again fighting for that race lead. Your Federated Auto Part-Time 55 Raceway. Week number 3, your Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder Series. In back yellow. I'm sure Ross would hate, but to love to see these yellows. Excuse me. And with these cautions coming out, it gives him lane choice. It just relieves a bit of the pressure for a lap or two. So sitting at pacing at the moment. So still a couple of laps away from getting the resumption of this main event underway. And I believe we're looking at this. Dean Reynolds in the 79. John Cooper as well in the 5 machine. Reynolds, you didn't stop. You're lucky. You are very lucky, Dean. Ross and Schatzer. Lights still flashing. They just come back on. Yeah, good day, Johnson. Yeah, he was definitely getting good. So still a bit more action to come here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network with your next-gen NASCAR Next-Gen Cup cars. I probably could find out what track they're at, but right now I'm just going to focus on what will be 11 to run. Well, little bit Schatzer. Well, that restart was not kind to him. Meanwhile, McLaren looking to the inside as here comes Clump working to the outside. The 93 of Jason Butterfield to the bottom. 3 wide we go. Now make it 2 wide for second. I'll make a second, third and fourth position. McLaren has got 3rd once again as he slides up in front of the 125 on the back straightaway. Schatzer 4/10 of a second difference between himself and Connor Ross with 9 to run. Back yellow. So 9 to run. Will Connor Ross, will he go to victory lane? Time will tell with 9 to go. How can Kurt Schatzer get by the 35? Where does he make the pass? And well, I know the obvious answer. He's just got to get by him at I-55 Raceway. He has to pass him. Real simple, folks. Well, it might be simple for us, but is it going to be simple for Kurt Schatzer? That time was a little bit better of a restart. Nice one, Platts. I like it. McLaren to the inside, through the middle of the raceway. Butterfield on the bottom, 3 wide for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Has Clump. Still works to the top side into 1 and 2. McLaren still trying to hold firm through the middle of the raceway. McLaren, he's gotten past Clump a couple of times, but due to the caution flag coming out, has to go back to the last recorded lap. Meanwhile, Keep an eye on Schatzer closing in on your race leader of Connor Ross. 6 to go at the start-finish line. We stay focused right now on first and second because the gap is just 2/10 of a second. Ross, Schatzer, yellow. Just as Schatzer tried to go down to the inside into 3. Yellow on the raceway. And again, these yellows, you hate to see it, but Connor Ross, I'm sure he is loving seeing the caution flag wave. The 93 of Jason Butterfield. So watch the 93. Oh, drives it in way too deep. Oh, hello. Logan Seavey. Welcome back. Just saying. That was a hell of a wall ride. You know what? That's style points. And the fact that he landed that, I'm giving that 11 out of 10. It's a hell of a move. Lights are out on your Steve King safety car. 5 to run. Absolutely, he took Chastain to a whole new level. It's not a wall ride, that was a fence ride. It wasn't even a 50-50, it was just straight up 100. Schatzer to the inside, down into 1 and 2. Oh, he looked good, putting the pressure to Connor Ross, coming to 4 to go. 4 more laps around the Federated Auto Parts I-55 Raceway. Schatzer down to the inside. Meanwhile, McLaren to the right of your screen. On clump once again. Schatzer trying to make the inside work down into 3 and 4 side by side for the race lead. 3 to go. Ross just a little bit better on the top side of the racetrack, but I'll tell you what, Schatzer not giving up right now. Schatzer, he stays mid-track on the exit of turn 4. No, you don't have a new race leader, but you've got a hell of an ding-dong battle fighting it up for the 1 and 2 positions. Schatzer and Ross coming to the white flag off turn number 4. Schatzer to the inside, Ross around the outside. What a finish we've got coming up. Ross to the top side, through the middle goes Schatzer one more time. Final time down the back straightaway into 3 and 4. Schatzer fights hard back on the inside, looks for the slide jump, and Ross around the outside. Connor Ross gonna take a fantastic heat race, feature race victory. Oh, what a finish! What a finish to your main event. Connor Ross with a victory of 0.148 of a second over Kurt Schatzer. Dan McLaren come home second and third. Clump 4th. Dixon 5th. Baker will come home 6th. Lawson, Morano, Graham and Barker your top 10. Then we, of course, move to Templeton 11th. Chapman, DeGood, Vecchio, Reynolds in 15th. Mosso, Butterfield, Blau, Wentz, Kemper 20th. Krupa, Grandy, Landis and Pomelo to come home in the final 4 positions. Oh my, what a feature race we have just witnessed. Those final, what was 5 laps. They was phenomenal. We wait to get a word with your top 3. And in fact, let's go right down to victory lane. We're going to chat to the driver that comes home in 3rd place tonight, the 88 of Dan McLaren. Dan, congratulations on the 3rd place finish. And man, I mean, other than the 2 guys up front, I mean, you and Harold Clubb had a hell of a race.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I think maybe 1 or 2 more laps if Kurt and Connor, were banged doors a little bit. Maybe I could have snuck underneath and possibly get the win. But that was a lot of fun. Good racing towards the end.
Man, a couple of times you got by Harold, but the yellow flag kept coming out. Was that frustrating, knowing that, once you got by him, the yellow was immediately coming out and you had to basically do it all over again?
Oh, for sure. It's never fun when the caution comes out and your relative comes up saying you got to let the guy back by you. So, but just kept my cool, had to figure it out, had to get by him again, and the middle stuck real good and pulled it off.
Well, mate, hell of a job to come home in 3rd place. Dan, before we let you go, of course, sponsor on this race car, people behind the scenes who gets this done for you.
Absolutely. New sponsor on the car, thanks to Dean Reynolds, Super Dirt Car Series, and Brian Lawson for painting the car. Car looks absolutely awesome, really fast. But all the guys over at Venom Racing, great group of guys. WeldStar Custom Fabrications, Magnum Race Designs, VMR Wraps, Roger and all the fellas for the league, and this fantastic broadcast. Can't wait to go back and watch it.
There we go, guys. Dan McLaren home in position number 3. We'll chat to the driver that comes home up in the runner-up spot by about a tenth and a half. It is Kurt Schatzer. Kurt, congratulations. I mean, commiseration, but congratulations on a second place. Man, a hell of a finish there between you and Connor Ross.
Yeah, Brent, I hope we made it exciting for you guys out there and everybody watching at home there. It was a fun race. Enjoyed it a lot.
A couple of times the restarts early on in the race, you were sort of a little bit sluggish to get off the start, and of course, obviously restarting on the bottom didn't help at all when you guys were all one on the top side. What was it like trying to get that single file restart there with I think it was 5 to go?
Oh yeah, man, I was praying for them single files. I mean, I kept getting lined up on the bottom, and every time I was on there, I felt like I would lose a position. So, and then I got lined up on the outside and got a good jump, and I think I got the third from there, and then we went single file. So, I mean, the cards lined up right for me at the end. So, I mean, I can't complain with a podium.
Other than the last 5 laps, you were sort of pretty much committed to the top side. What made you go down to the bottom in those last 5 laps?
Well, you got to go where they ain't, and he was beating me so bad on them restarts. It took me so long to actually reel him back into where I could start trying to set him up to make any moves, to where I decided to go low in 1 and 2 on that last restart, and whatever I lost, I gained right back on him. So I just was like, I'm just going to stay here, and hopefully he might slip up and jump the cushion or spin his tires, and I could come out with a win.
Well, unfortunately, you didn't come away with him, but man, you really put on a show, and again, congratulations on coming home in the runner-up position here tonight. Kurt, before we let you go, of course, lovely looking ride. Who makes this possible for you and the 218 car to get around?
Yeah, I got to thank Jay with Dirt Track Bank, everything they do to help racers all around the country, help our team, Hammer Down Racing, Brandon Templeton. I got to congratulate him for his 358 win earlier. Brian Dickens and Joe Halter and Got Your Six Racing Network. Roger Preston giving us a place to race. You coming out and doing the broadcast for us for Thursday nights here. You do a fantastic job. Yeah, everybody watching at home, my wife and kids for allowing me to do this.
All right, there we go, guys. Kurt Schatzer, the driver that comes home in second spot. We'll chat to you when you're here tonight, driving car number 35. That is Connor Ross. Connor, congratulations on the win here tonight. And, well, an exciting way to wrap up the dirt part of the Thursday Night Thunder Thursday Night Thunder. That was a very entertaining race.
Yeah, it was. I didn't like that many cautions, but I knew I was getting slower, and Kurt was getting a lot faster than me. So the restarts helped because I was able to get a good gap. But Kurt summed it up perfectly. I was talking to him in Discord after, and he said sometimes being second's better. You can try those other lines, and if the leader doesn't catch on, you can take advantage of that. And he was running the bottom there, and I told him I was live or die by the top. I wasn't moving off.
What was the nerves like in those last 5 laps on that last restart?
They were high. Like any time I have a chance at winning, they're always high. It doesn't matter if I've got 5 seconds or a tenth. So I just had to keep it cool, make sure I didn't get in the gas too early, hit the wall. Just if he was to win, he was going to have to drive me pretty clean and pretty hard. I wasn't going to give up that one easily.
Well, Connor, you come away with the victory here tonight at the Federated Auto Parts I-55 Raceway, the Catalytic Recovery Big Block Modifieds. Again, congratulations on this win. Connor, before we let you go, of course, sponsors, shout-outs, who makes this possible for you and the 35 car to visit Victory Lane tonight?
I got to thank Gambler Motorsports. They're always great, leaning a hand and helping you out. Petro Plus, Travel Stop, Burger Barn, Ace One Construction, Pesky Penguin, Kingpin Farms. I got to thank Coast to Coast for putting on another league that we can run in, another amazing season. I got to thank you for broadcasting tonight. So you guys do an amazing job.
All right, there we go, guys. Connor Ross, your winner here tonight from the Federated Auto Parts I-55 Raceway. That's going to do it for me for the moment, but we'll bring in Travis Piercefield. Travis, Next Gen Cup cars, where are we off to where are we off to tonight?
We're headed to the currently defunct Chicagoland Speedway, which you just called Dan McLaren to a podium finish. He picked up the victory last week. Connor Ross, who picked up the victory here just now as well, he ran well last week as well. So two of the many drivers that will look to attack Chicagoland Speedway for 60 laps here tonight to conclude our Thursday Night Thunder coverage.
All right, well, again, live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, we still have one more race to come. Again, we're going to take a quick little short intermission. Again, we'll be back with the Next Gen Cup cars live from the Chicagoland Speedway. Travis Piercefield will have all the action for that one. But for the dirt side of things, for the Thursday Night Thunder Gambler Motorsports Dirt Series, I'm Brett Wheeler signing off saying thank you, good night, we'll see you back next week.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the final portion of our Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder as the Team Watson Racing Setups Next Gen Series takes on Chicagoland tonight. We have qualifying and then 60 laps around this currently defunct NASCAR track just south of Chicago in Joliet, Illinois. And looking at some of the drivers as they make their way around here during hot laps, you've got that 88 machine of Dan McLaren. He picked up the victory last week as strategy came into play. And you've got to think tonight here at Chicagoland, going to see some more of that strategy come into play, just with how big, wide this track can be and the skill level of these drivers being able to get some laps in the books. Looking at possibly some long green flag runs here tonight as we normally see. But then, just like last time, we had some late race cautions bring out some green-white checkers at the end, and that is what decided it last week, as we've got 22 drivers here currently on the track taking hot laps. That's the 45 of Andrew Cuppersmith. Terry Landis out there as well in that 161 machine. Brandon Ishkanian, the usual suspects out here on the track. As here in hot laps, we'll take a look at those best times now. Cody Graham atop the charts. Cody Graham has one win, and as we go into our Tim Chapman Racing pre-race show and look at those Sim Racer Hub point standings coming into tonight, Cody Graham is the points leader. He has one victory, 2 top 10s, 2 top 5s. He leads Zachary Smith, who's up to second after last week's performance. Colin Johnson third, Jacob Butcher fourth, Roland Olson fifth, Brandon Ishkanian in sixth, Jeremy Tate seventh, Terry Landis eighth, Isaac Salas ninth, and Andrew Cuppersmith in the 10th spot. As mentioned, Dan McLaren 1 for 1 this summer season, as last week was his first appearance in the series. As he was able to pick up that victory, he currently sits 13th in points, so looking to see what he can do to try to move up through the standings here as we're early in this summer season. See Colin Johnson out there on the track as well, as they all get prepared here for Thursday Night Thunder, presented by Gambler Motorsports. So we'll move on here in a moment to that qualifying session. It'll be group session, so it'll get knocked out pretty quickly. As you see Jason Hand out there as well. He was someone that moved up through the field late in that race last week. As you see, he's got the Team Watson Racing Setups colors on his number 54 machine. As he'll shoot to the top of the charts, just edging Cody Graham here. As you can see, just over 30 seconds to make their way around the Chicagoland Speedway. Some other drivers making their way out onto the track to get some laps in, as it looks like that practice session will finish up, and that will move us on to our qualifying session here at Chicagoland Speedway. And you can see right there in the center of the track, Victory Lane, that is where these drivers are aspiring to get. Not completely intended, but I guess with that aspire number 8 on the screen, played out perfectly. There's Zachary Chapman, our first view of his 72 machine, as he had a well-planned race last week. We talked to him during that race last week, and he had strategy involved to make it on one stop. He got involved in a late race caution at one point, fell back, and then battled his way up into the top 5. So good fight shown out of that 72 car last week. As we watch Brandon Ishkanian in that 19 make his way around, as the cars are starting to get the green flag on their first timed run here in qualifying for the Team Watson Racing Setups NASCAR Next Gen Series. Jason Hand shoots to the top of the charts, a 30.81. As Simmons is just behind him in that 25, a 30.86. As we watch Kemper, currently 6th fastest out there on the track as he makes his way around. 11 cars have taken a time, now 12 as Dean Reynolds gets up in there as well. As we watch Zachary Chapman complete his timed run. As he will be 11th fastest. Roland Olson, he's completed his lap, as has Peter Thompson. Gary Sigelkow, 18th fastest out there. Zachary Chapman jumps up to 4th fastest. Joe Canellis, a good run as well, 8th fastest, his first timed lap. Roger Craig, 16th fastest currently. Last week's winner, that 88 of Dan McLaren, now out on the track. As Joe Canellis has now leapfrogged a few. He'll move up to 4th fastest with a 30.85. As Dan McLaren will be 8th fastest his first lap. Just up ahead of him, Colin Johnston. As McLaren will jump up to P2, Colin Johnson 12th fastest. As last week's winner, Dan McLaren, coming back for more here tonight, as he will be 2nd fastest just behind Jason Hand, a 30.74. As Colin Johnston looks to complete his 2nd lap, try to improve upon his 31.08. And his 13 machine will woe down to a stop there. As we look, that should leave at least 3 drivers yet to make time laps. But with the amount of time left, assuming they will not make it on the track, that's Daniel Blau, Connor Ross, and Jacob Butcher. So 20 of the 23 took time laps, and quick time should end up in the hands of Jason Hand and that number 54. As the Team Watson Racing Setups, number 54 will grab quick time here at Chicagoland. And that will move us on to our feature event here at Chicagoland Speedway. And with that, we will take a look at that catalytic recovery starting lineup. As our Oswegan Speedway intermission will get underway. Catalytic recovery, and that will take us to our catalytic recovery starting lineup here for our 60 lap feature event. Starting on the front row, it's going to be Jason Hand out of New York alongside Canadian Dan McLaren. Starting third, Tim Chapman alongside Brian Lawson. Row number 3, it's Joe Canellis. Great qualifying run out of him, and Zachary Chapman to his outside. Starting 7th, it's Dwayne Simons next to Brandon Ishkanian in his 19. And rounding out the top 10, it's Jeffrey Kemper alongside Peter Thompson. Starting 11th, it's Terry Landis alongside Colin Johnston. 13th, Roland Olson alongside Jeremy Tate. 15th, Andrew Cuppersmith alongside Dean Reynolds. 17th, Cody Graham alongside the Bassman, Roger Craig. Starting 19th will be Butch Baker out of the great state of Michigan, and alongside him in 20th will be Gary Singlecow. 21st, Connor Ross next to Jacob Butcher, and rounding out the field will be Daniel Blau and his number 17. So they will roll on off behind that Stephen King Foundation pace car as our Team Watson Racing Setups NASCAR Next Gen Series gets set to take on Chicagoland Speedway here. 60 laps will make up this race tonight. As we take a look from our drone view, of course, as always, our drone view presented by Chapman Racing. As the cars get ready to go and take on the Chicagoland Speedway. Starting lineup along the left side of your screen, as they will make their way around one more. Oh, and there, Stephen King Foundation pace car, a late entry onto pit road there as they come down the front stretch. Green flag will wave. Jason Hand and McLaren take us to green, and we are underway at Chicagoland. 60 laps as they head off side by side off into turn number 1 for the first time tonight. Still side by side for the lead down the back stretch here as you've got Hand to the inside, McLaren to the outside. Zachary Chapman trying to make something work as he rides along in that 5th position currently to the inside of Lawson. And as they make their way around for lap number 1, it will be last week's winner, Dan McLaren, leading lap number 1. So Dan McLaren will lead as that 30. Oh, and the caution flag comes out. Looks like Andrew Cuppersmith is around on the backstretch, as that will be our first caution of the night, our first Team Watson Racing Setups caution of the night. And that means our first Mission 22 restart coming up next. As the first caution comes out on lap number 3. For Cuppersmith on the backstretch, as we were getting settled in here at Chicagoland, we saw the leaders side by side, and it was Dan McLaren on that outside line that was able to pull ahead at the line and lead the first couple laps under green. As we get ready to get lined back up, do have some guys jumping down to the pits, as it's Brandon Ishkanian, Dwayne Simons, Cody Graham, Roger Craig, Gary Singlecow, Connor Ross, and Daniel Blau will all make their way down. As Dan McLaren looking to go 2 for 2. The last 2 weeks here in the Team Watson Racing Setups NASCAR Cup Series. As we should get lined up side by side as they pass by this time. We'll speak to some of the drivers throughout the evening as they continue to get settled in here early in this one. As it'll be the Chapman starting side by side there in row number 2. Zachary Chapman, obviously someone that we end up talking about quite a bit throughout the evening. See if that plays out again as tonight goes on. But they're all chasing Dan McLaren out front, that 88 here early at Chicagoland. As we will be working lap number 6 when that green flag comes out. 60 laps will make up our feature here tonight for the NASCAR Cup Series. As they make their way down the backstretch, we were starting to see them get settled in, get some single file runs, as the first couple laps there had 3 wide racing action, which we saw even for the 3rd position as they were getting settled in. But they'll make their way around turns number 3 and 4 down the long front stretch here at Chicagoland for a Mission 22 restart. All our green flags tonight presented by Lucy Olson. And as they make their way down, green flag will wave as they go through that Geico restart zone for another Mission 22 restart. Dan McLaren shoots out like a cannon as now that 54 machine is back into the clutches of the Chapmans behind him as they're side by side for that 3rd position through 1 and 2. They'll get it sorted out as Tim Chapman will jump up in front of Zachary. You have to go back to Peter Thompson in 7th for side-by-side action. As you see the 13 to the right of your screen, Colin Johnson get into the wall on the entry of turn number 3. He'll get it sorted out as they're still 2 by 2 back in the pack. This is a battle from 7th on to 10th. You see the 1 machine of Joe Canellis running middle line there. He's got the 04 Peter Thompson to his inside. As they continue to race side by side, the front 6 are all single file now as they all chase down Dan McLaren out front, still watching this 04 and 13 battle for the 7th spot, with more side-by-side action behind them, including the 161 of Terry Landis. That's Roland Olson to the outside as he's trying to make his way up through the field. Outside has momentum, and you can see Roland Olson close up on that 161 of Landis there as they came off of turn number 2. As just like that, we're working lap number 8. It's Dan McLaren out front, Hand in 2nd, Chapman, Tim Chapman in 3rd, Zachary Chapman 4th, Brian Lawson in that 5th spot as they have started to separate from 6th on back. Riding along with Jason Hand as he tries to track down Dan McLaren up ahead. Down the front stretch here at Chicagoland. As they make their way around. Early hard chargers, that 85 of Jacob Butcher. He's up 9 spots all the way up into that 13th spot as he's looking to move up through the field. He's currently behind Roland Olson and Jeremy Tate as that battle continues on. As we work lap number 11, it's still Dan McLaren. As you see now, Zachary Chapman's moved up into that 3rd spot around Tim, as he's now trying to chase down Jason Hand for that 2nd spot. So you can see now Jason Hand under attack from Zachary Chapman for that second spot. Chapman up along that outside. He's really following the line of Dan McLaren. Oh, and Dan McLaren gets into the wall on the exit of turn number 4. That'll open the door. Zachary Chapman will close up quickly. Look to the outside as they enter. As you see Hand and Tim Chapman behind them make contact. Action at the front out of the blue on lap number 13 as Zachary Chapman will go around Dan McLaren for the lead. So Zachary Chapman will jump to the front. He will lead lap number 13. And we have our first lead change and our second leader of the night in that 72. Working lap number 14. It's still early here at Chicagoland as we get settled in. Great battles throughout. You look at Roland Olson and Peter Thompson. Two cars that have been side by side with somebody all night long here early in this one. Roland Olson moving up through the field as he's up 5 spots now into that 8th position. Good start for that driver. As Joe Canellis now looking to the inside of Peter Thompson. Fun side-by-side battle here as Joe all the way down on the apron there as he looks to the inside of Thompson. And with that, they'll get sorted out. It'll be Thompson holding on to that 9th spot behind Roland Olson. Up front, the front 5 still single file. Colin Johnson in 6th has started to join that group, so it's a 6-car breakaway out front now, as Zachary Chapman took advantage of some contact with the wall by McLaren to move up into that first spot as he took over on lap number 13. Looking down through the field, Peter Thompson back under attack by Joe Canellis. So we'll take a look at that from the Chapman Racing drone shot. Big group of cars there going through turns 1 and 2. So you can see that momentum that Thompson gets off the exit of turn number 2 as they head down that backstretch and into turn number 3. Up front, Dan McLaren is caught up to the 72 as now he's all over the bumper of Zach Chapman as they enter turn number 1. He'll look to the inside here on lap number 19, looking to take that lead back from Zachary. He'll fall back in line down the backstretch as Tim Chapman and Jason Hand behind them trade the 3rd and 4th spots back and forth. As they'll fall back in line, working lap number 20 now as we're about a 1/3 of the way through this one at Chicagoland. Zachary Chapman leads McLaren as now Jason Hand will take a look to the inside of Tim Chapman. As McLaren takes a look to Zachary Chapman's inside as both Chapmans now under attack. Dan McLaren not quite able to pull up alongside that 72. He's able to get his nose just under him, and then his car stalls out. As you see Jason Hand having the same issues. And now up front, Dan McLaren had a peek to the outside, but Zachary closes that quickly down the backstretch. So Jason Hand was finally able to clear Tim Chapman for the third spot. That allowed Brian Lawson to close that gap from fifth in. As Dan McLaren continues to work over the bumper, that 72 of Zachary Chapman. Chapman up high into the entrance of turn number 3. McLaren looks to the inside, trying to make a pass again. Pulls up alongside of him now. Here is now Jason Hand from third enters the picture. Side by side off the exit of turn number 2. McLaren's now got Hand all over the back of him as he continues to try to make a move on that 72, unable to complete the pass as of yet, as this battle has gone on for the past 7 laps. McLaren all the way down to the apron there. Zach Chapman will hold on to the lead. As now Tim Chapman and Jason Hand both have closed that gap. Ryan Lawson, it's really a 5-car breakaway with Colin Johnson not far behind. The battle continues on. Chapman's able to use that outside line, as McLaren will lead lap number 24. As we have our second lead change amongst these two drivers, as now Chapman's battled back down the backstretch. Jason Hand still in the picture from third, as he's down even lower than McLaren on entrance of the corner. They'll come off of turn number 4, and they'll be side-by-side drag racing to the line again. Great battle at the front, as we will ride along with Jason Hand. Watch that battle up ahead between Chapman and McLaren, as Jason has front row seats. McLaren able to take advantage off of turn number 4. He'll finally clear that 72 machine. Jason Hand will as well. And now Brian Lawson looks to move into that third spot as well, as now he's come into this battle for the lead. Tim Chapman has fallen back to 6th. Now Jeffrey Kemper is caught up to this group as well. The side-by-side racing has now made this a 7-car battle at the lead, as now Dan McLaren back in the lead, trying to hold off that Team Watson Racing setup. Number 54 of Jason Hand, as they look to complete lap number 27 this time by. Hand able to pull in front down the backstretch. We'll see how long it sticks as they make their way through 3 and 4. Hand will take the lead on the exit of turn number 4, and lap number 27 will go to Jason. 28 will go to Jason Hand. So lead changes between the front 3 here as we enter or creep closer to that halfway mark. Zachary Chapman's rebounded back into that 3rd spot. As behind him Brian Lawson, Jeffrey Kemper side by side for that 4th spot. And as we work our lap number 30, the halfway point here at Chicagoland, we'll go through that field. As we will wait on that, as now Colin Johnson has pitted from the 7th spot. As we get to the halfway mark, that could be pit stops here for the field. Colin Johnson amongst the first to enter. See if he's able to pick any spots up on fresh tires once he gets back out on the track. Jason Hand now leads as he's starting to pull away from Dan McLaren. as we wait to see who's next to hit the pit road. Cuppersmith on pit road now, and our leader is making his way down. That's Jason Hand to the pits as Dan McLaren will lead lap number 31. So Hand, Chapman, both of them, Joe Canellis, Roland Olson, Connor Ross, Single Cow, all pit on lap number 32. As it looks like Dan McLaren will be entering on lap number 32 as well. That will pass the lead off to Cody Graham. As Cody Graham will be our fourth leader of the night. McLaren, Kemper, Lawson, Butch Baker, Jeremy Tate, Peter Thompson, Jacob Butcher, Dean Reynolds, all part of the group pitting currently on lap number 32. As you see, Brandon Ishkanian and Cody Graham lead 5 cars that have yet to pit. All but one of them, which is Terry Landis, making his way down to pit road now. So the top 5 remain out. They all pitted on lap 3 and 4. So they can go a few extra laps here. As it is open. There comes Cody Graham. There comes Brandon Ishkanian as Daniel Blau will take over and lead lap number 34. Looking at who has pitted, Jason Hand does lead Dan McLaren, Jeffrey Kemper, Zach Chapman, and Colin Johnston. So that would be your top 5 after we cycle around. As the 17 of Daniel Blau and Dwayne Simons are the only 2 yet to pit. And there comes Blau. We'll see if Simons comes as well as he will. And Blau will lead lap 35 from the pits, but that will pass the lead back to Jason Hand. Once they cycle around here, as you see Hand and McLaren, Hand has about a half a second lead on McLaren. As that has put cars all the way around this Chicagoland Speedway. You can see the distance from McLaren to Hand for the lead, as we've only got 25 laps to go. Very quickly the laps have gone down, and we are starting to enter that pay window where it is time to go, as we have not had a caution since the one on lap number 3. As Jason Hand has retaken over the lead. And with that, we'll go through your top 10 here at Chicagoland Speedway. Jason Hand in the 54 regains the lead after pit stops. He's now led 4 laps here tonight. Behind him, Dan McLaren in the 88 machine, who's cut the lead down to 0.3 of a second. McLaren has led the most laps tonight, as he has led 15 laps up to this point. As you see Jason Hand having some problems getting through some lap traffic here, as they are side by side up ahead of him. That's the 85 of Butcher and 25 of Gary Singlecow. They run in 21st and 20th. As they finally separate from each other and Jason's able to put them both a lap down. Next he'll have that Dean Reynolds machine up ahead of him. Running in third is Zachary Chapman. He's up 3 spots from his 6th place starting spot. Zachary led 11 laps earlier in this race, as he looks to chase down the front 2 up ahead. Jeffrey Kemper's up 5 spots in that 181 machine for Gambler Motorsports, currently running in 4th. Colin Johnson, among our first drivers to pit this last cycle, up 7 spots from his 12th starting spot into the top 5 as he's looking to the inside of Jeffrey Kemper. Tim Chapman raced in the top 5 for a majority of it until pit stops there as he now rides in the 6th spot. Behind him, Cody Graham, the big mover here. He's our hard charger thus far, up 10 spots up into the top 10, currently running in 7th. Running 8th is that 9 machine. It's Brian Lawson as he tries to hold off Brandon Ishkanian, who is in the 9th spot. And rounding out your top 10 right behind them is Joe Canellis as he's got Roland Olson all over the back of him, trying to make a move. And up front, Dan McLaren was able to get around that 54 machine of Jason Han. So now Dan McLaren will regain the lead. So Dan was able to win last week. He's looking to go back-to-back here in the Team Watson Racing Setups NASCAR Cup Series. As they pick through drivers, once they get past this 85 of Jacob Butcher, it's clear sailing ahead for quite a ways. But again, we've seen as cars get in traffic here at Chicagoland, it does make it hard to pass and maneuver around as McLaren has to make an evasive maneuver around that 85 of Butcher. Jason Han trying to follow him through and not lose ground. As we mentioned, you can see that clean air up ahead of McLaren now that he has after getting by Butcher. You have the 72 of Zachary Chapman behind them between 2 lapped cars trying to chase down these front 2. As now 17 laps to go this time by. Chapman able to make quick work of Butcher as now the 3-car battle will get back to it up front. Dan McLaren leads Jason Han, Zachary Chapman. And the last 2 weeks, Dan McLaren has not been messing around as he has led the most laps the last 2 weeks now. After missing week 1 of the summer season. He has led 23 of the laps thus far. As you see, that 3-car battle remains. Back in the pack, though, great battle for 5th. Cody Graham to the inside. He's working over Jeffrey Kemper and the 13 of Colin Johnston. That's Brandon Ishkanian watching on as this 3-car battle remains down the front stretch. Cody Graham to the inside. Kemper's quick to jump up into that outside line behind Johnston as they come to 14 to go. And now Ishkanian will move in behind Cody Graham as he'll move alongside Kemper and try to get past Kemper and Johnston down the backstretch. Ooh, Colin Johnson into the wall. That'll slow him down. Kemper has to jump to the inside. That allows Ishkanian to clear him and Kemper to clear him. So Colin Johnson will fall back to the 7th spot. As that is the tightest battle on the track as of right now. As we look back to the front, Dan McLaren, Jason Hand able to separate from Zachary Chapman with 13 laps to go. Hand continuing to try to chase down McLaren up ahead. The lead is still just under 0.3 of a second as we have a dozen laps to go at Chicagoland. Tim Chapman in 8th is now gaining on that Johnston machine for 7th. Cody Graham trying to hold off Brandon Ishkanian as they make their way through lap traffic. Good run for Butch Baker. He's up 9 spots into the top 10, currently riding in the 10th place. Another driver up 9 spots is that Connor Ross machine, as he picked up a win earlier here in Thursday Night Thunder. He is up to 12th after starting 21st. As Ishkanian still trying to move around that Butcher machine, but not losing ground on Cody Graham, as Cody rides along in the 4th spot. As Ishkanian still all over the back of that 2 machine with 9 laps to go. Dan McLaren still leads out front. He stretched his lead to about 0.8 of a second over Zachary Chapman. As it looks like Jason Hand is into the pits. So Dan McLaren now leads Zachary Chapman by 3 seconds with 8 laps to go. Cody Graham in 3rd, 4th Brandon Ishkanian, as that battle for 2nd is about to heat up with Graham and Ishkanian both chasing down Zachary Chapman. As you see the 19 of Ishkanian look to the inside. Chapman under attack with 7 laps to go. Gary Singlecow lap car up ahead of them. As Dan McLaren continues to lead, his lead now stretched over 3 seconds. You can see him up ahead in that red car. As now Ishkanian and Cody Graham both move past Zachary Chapman. As now it's McLaren, Ishkanian, and Graham your podium as they run currently. And now Jeffrey Kemper going to go on the attack of his Gambler Motorsports, Zachary Chapman, as Chapman moves to the inside. Five laps to go this time by for Dan McLaren, as his gap has separated. Jason Hand having issues. He is out. He pitted on lap number 50 from the 2nd spot and appears to be done for the night. So he will end up 23rd. As Dan McLaren will get us to 4 laps to go here at Chicagoland. Cody Graham trying to chase down Brandon Ishkanian. It's amongst the closest battles on the track. Peter Thompson looking to the inside of Jeremy Tate. That's a battle for the 12th spot as they run nose to tail down the front stretch and off into turn number 1. And with that, Thompson will take over. Up front is Kenyon still holding off Cody Graham for the 2nd spot, as Dan McLaren out ahead, coming to 2 laps to go here at Chicagoland. Brian Lawson looking to the outside of Tim Chapman down the backstretch. This is a battle for 7th. Our hard charger right now is the Cody Graham machine, running in third, up 14 spots. Connor Ross currently runs in ninth. He's up 12 spots tonight. As now Colin Johnson's entered this three-way battle. Tim Chapman to the inside, Brian Lawson to the outside as they head off into turn number 3. As up ahead of them, Dan McLaren will take the white flag. It's the final lap at Chicagoland Speedway. Here for the Team Watson Racing Setups NASCAR Cup Series. And that 88 machine over 2 seconds of a lead over Cody Graham Brandon Ishkanian. Cody Graham runs in third. For the final time, Dan McLaren through turns 3 and 4. And he will be a winner yet again. Back-to-back wins for Dan McLaren. Second will go to Brandon Ishkanian. Third, Cody Graham. Fourth, Jeffrey Kemper and Zachary Chapman will round out your top 5. So 60 laps at Chicagoland complete. And with that, the racing action comes to a close here on Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder of the summer season. As we will watch Dan McLaren head to celebrate here at the start-finish line. As he will get lined up alongside Brandon Ishkanian and Cody Graham. As they get parked here on the front stretch. And with that, we'll bring up that finishing order. And we will talk to your top 3 finishers here shortly. So it's Dan McLaren over Brandon Ishkanian and Cody Graham. Fourth, Jeffrey Kemper and Zachary Chapman round out the top 5. Tim Chapman, Brian Lawson, Colin Johnson, Connor Ross, Joe Canellis make up your top 10. Then it's on to Butch Baker, Jeremy Tate, Peter Thompson, Dwayne Simons, Roland Olson, Roger Craig, Terry Landis, and Jacob Butcher in 18th. 19th, Dean Reynolds, Daniel Blau in 20th, Andrew Cuppersmith 21st, Gary Singlecow 22nd, and Jason Han, who led at one point during this event and was running in second, will end up 11 laps down in 23rd. So with that, we will talk to our third place finisher. It's the number 2 of Cody Graham. Cody, walk us through that 60-lap event here at Chicagoland Speedway and how you ended up with a podium finish.
Oh, I mean, it wasn't easy. I put myself on the back foot to start by screwing up qualifying, so I buried myself down starting at the back. But, yeah, that first run, I just burned up too much of my stuff because I got put in the wall on lap 2 for no reason, and then which allowed me to pit, which was fine because then I had some fuel so I could stretch it out a little bit longer. But there's guys back in like 20th place who are swerving down the straightaway and dooring you for no reason. On like lap 6. So I don't know what's going on. So I had to chew up my tires way too much to get up through the field. And then I think just Dan had too much of a lead for Brandon and I to track him down because we were too far back after that pit stop. But I was content to sit behind Brandon and hopefully maybe we could draft up and try and get him at the end. But he was just too far out in front.
As you mentioned, after those pit stops, they got spread out around the track. You came in the points leader. Once you're just trying to pick up as many spots, do you go into points mode, or is that even crossing your mind at that point?
No, we're only week 3 of 12, so points aren't really a thing. It's all about, just having fun and trying to win as much as you can, and the points kind of fall where they are. If this was maybe week 11 or 12, I'd think about it, but not this early. I was just hoping to survive after that first lap scuffle.
We saw last week we had some late race cautions. If that happened again this week, did you feel like you had a chance and had something for that 88 up ahead?
Maybe. I'm not sure how much he was using his stuff up since they had that top like 3 or 4 group had quite a big lead from the rest of them, so I'm not sure if he was just saving or not. But I mean, we were definitely faster. towards the end. So maybe he would have turned it up if there was a green white checkered or something like that. But maybe I don't know. You'd have to ask him how much he had left in the tank. But yeah, it would have been interesting.
Well, great run here, Cody. You come away with a third place finish. Any sponsors you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, Fast Eddie's Hot Rods, and then my teammates John, Jake, Joe, and Eddie, Roger, and the guys for the broadcast, and or for the league, and then you doing the broadcast.
Well, congratulations, Cody. That is your third place finisher tonight. That's Cody Graham. As now we'll talk to our second place finisher. It's the 19 of Brandon Ishkanian. Brandon, walk us through your night and how you ended up with a podium finish there.
Man, it was that was pretty fun. Just like last night, man, it was good. Went in with the strategy. That first caution came out, and I was like, all right, it's either going to be a caution-filled race or this is going to be the only one. So as soon as that caution came out, I was like, you know what, let's get some fuel. The game plan in the beginning was to save tires. I don't think I cracked anything faster than a 30 dot or a 30, maybe a 31.0. In the first stint and the second stint, it was go all out, 25 laps, just to push hard. And I think if I had 10 more laps, I probably would have caught Dan, if I'm being completely honest with you.
We were talking to Cody about that as well. Once the caution site or the pit stops cycled through, it was really spaced out. But you and Cody made your way up through the field. What did you think it was going to take? And if you had a chance, if a late race caution did come out, do you feel like you could have competed with that 88?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I really do think that I had a chance. It was really good by the team as a whole, and Cody's been working with us too, and glad that him and I were on the same strategy at that point. So, but I absolutely think I had something for Dan. I don't know, I might have taken a bump or something, but for the most part, yeah, I think I had a chance.
When we have a race like this where there's a caution on lap 3 and then not on one the rest of the race, any strategies you come into the race with, how does that throw it off? And when it does turn into just a 55 lap green flag run, what can you do to try to make up moves and get up there to try to battle for a lead?
So like tonight, when that early caution comes out, you got to look at how many cars are on track. You got to look at who is on track. Is it possible to get through the field and not stir up and might not cause any damage or anything like that? And that's kind of what we went with. And then it was just a matter of, like, I was literally praying we didn't have a caution, because I knew that if we didn't, I was good to go. Cody was good to go. I was hoping my brother was with me, but he didn't keep up with me. But yeah, I mean, tonight worked out almost perfect. If we had 10 more laps, I think we would have caught Dan.
Well, great run tonight, Brandon. Any sponsors you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, definitely got to thank Team Watson Racing Setups, man. For sponsoring the division, also for being my personal sponsor, along with Wild Goslin Racing, their entire sponsor for setups during the official series for NASCAR. Their Chicago Street Course setup this week is pretty fast, and I know for sure their truck and Xfinity cars are fast this week. And if anybody's looking for any kind of setup for any car, really, whether it be road, dirt legends, anything like that, Team Watson Racing Setups is the place to go. Watson 39, you can get 15% off any discounts. I've also got to thank Zach for painting the scheme last night, my brother for painting the scheme tonight. Got to thank Cullen, Dwayne, Jason Hand. I wish he'd have stuck with us. I think Jason would have been up here with us as well had he not had his issues. Other than that, man, it was fun. I appreciate you, Travis.
Awesome. Well, great run, Brandon. It was nice talking to you tonight, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon. That's our second place finisher, Brandon Ishkanian, here tonight at Chicagoland. And now we'll throw it over to Victory Lane. Dan McLaren picks up another win back-to-back weeks here, 2 for 2 in the summer season. Dan, walk us through our night and how you eased into a victory there late.
Well, definitely qualified better this time. Last couple sessions and couple weeks haven't qualified all that great, so definitely paid off. Close, qualifying a little further up, but I think no, that was a good race.
We talked to both Cody and Brandon behind you. Both of them had to make their way up through the field there late in that one. I think both of them and us were wondering, what did you have left? And if they were able to get up to you, were you able to take it up another notch if you had to?
Yeah, I was watching the relative, and Brandon, he was chasing me down. Maybe if we were going another 20, 30 laps or whatever and had to do another pit stop, totally different story. But No, I just played it conservative and just kept watching the relative and pushed a little more if I saw him gaining, and just came home with the win.
So last week when you were leading, there were some late lap or late race cautions that came out. This one, it didn't play out that way. But after that happens and you're up front with a long green flag run like that, is that entering your mind at all, or are you thinking about that as the laps count down?
Oh, absolutely. You never want a caution to come out with, coming up to 1 or 2 to go. But no, hats off to everybody on super clean race and, one caution. So that's something to be proud of. A couple things, we still got to work on as a league and whatnot, but I think we're getting better, and I think the racing's getting pretty good.
Well, congratulations on another win, Dan. Any sponsors you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Yes, sir. All the Venom guys, VMR Wraps, Magnum Race Designs, WeldStar, Roger, and everyone behind the scenes for Coast to Coast, and you, Marty, all the guys that do the broadcast week in, week out. Can't thank you enough.
Well, great run, Dan. We look forward to talking to you again next Thursday. That's your winner here at Chicagoland, Dan McLaren.
Cheers.
So Dan McLaren will win for the second straight week here at Chicagoland Speedway. He bests Brandon Ishkanian and Cody Graham as Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder week number 3 comes to a close. Make sure you tune in Sunday night here on the Coast to Coast Racing League Network as we have Extreme E-Speed TV Sunday Night Showdown. We will go live at 7:30 on Sunday night for the Salty Dogs Midget Race from Williams Grove. And then we will conclude our Sunday night racing action with the Extreme E-Speed TV Pro Late Model Series from Volusia. So a couple races you won't want to miss there, as that will be the Sunday night of our holiday weekend up ahead. As always, we thank you for tuning in to the Coast to Coast Racing League here on Extreme E-Speed TV. And we hope you have a happy and safe holiday weekend. As mentioned, we will see you back at the track here on Sunday night. You've been watching the Team Watson Racing Setups NASCAR Cup Series here on Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder. We will see you at a racetrack again soon.
This copyrighted broadcast of Extreme E-Speed TV Network is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without express written consent of the Extreme E-Speed TV Network is strictly prohibited. We hope you've enjoyed this broadcast.